Back in North Wilkesboro Speedway, this record crowd estimated at close to 50,000 begins to file out, and the man who finished fourth today is standing by with our Bill Weber.
Well, Rusty Wallace, you had to battle it today in the Miller Genuine Draft Ford.
Yeah, we had a good run, though. I mean, finished fourth, but I just had a couple of crazy things happen. The wildest thing is breathtaking deals. The throttle kept hanging wide open. I'd come down the front straight wide open, get out of the throttle, and just stay going. And it did it about 6 or 8 times during the day, and I just couldn't. I didn't trust it. You know, every lap you go in the corner, you're going, is it going to hang or isn't going to hang? And after the race was over, we looked underneath it, and the gas pedal was hanging up on a flat washer that was holding the floor mat down. So, really strange deal. But I got myself out of sync with pit stops. And then right there at the end, I tried to get old Bodine, get my lap back there, and got into him, blew the right front tire out. So, you know, we were pretty well locked into fourth, so I just rode that one out. But the key thing, just picking up points and Earnhardt just nipping away at him. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, you need to take a big bite out of it, and unfortunately for you, you couldn't get it done today.
Well, if I can't take big ones, I'll take those little ones and see what happens when it's all over.
Okay, Rusty Wallace. Now let's go to...
Thank you, Bill, with Rick Mast. Rick, 3/3 this year, your best career finish, but I tell you what, you had to breathe a sigh of relief after Ricky got in to you there.
That was a bad deal. You know, I think 8 cars, somebody missed a shift, and, you know, I guess really nothing Ricky could do. You know, he hit his brakes and cut up into me. We knocked the toe out a little bit when that happened and messed the car up. You know, but still, we was real fortunate. I thought we done cut a tire, but we was fortunate to finish the race, I guess. But, you know, the car ran good. You know, the guys had good stops. It was a little cooler today than we expected. We had our car a little bit too tight, especially the last half of the race, man. The car got real tight. I think the track got tight. We kept taking bite out of it and working on it. And the second half of each run, my car would be a little better than Terry's or Jeff's. But the first half, man, they just kicked my butt, you know, and we just drive and doing all we could do to try to outrun them. And then there at the end, we just basically trying to hang on. You know, the thing wasn't driving just like right after the wreck. And, you know, Jeff's car was good, and Terry, boy, both of his cars were awesome. I'll tell you, my guys had an awesome car. You know, this deal here is no different. You know, I finished third. You're interviewing me so many times this year, man. I've done said it. I'm blue in the face. I know a lot of people are tired of hearing it, but we could be here a lot of times, you know, not for problems going on. But, you know, this team's for real, man. We'll be here.
Well, we saw some good pit stops today. They go to Charlotte next week, and Rick led several laps, a number of laps at Charlotte back in the spring, so they look for a really good finish next week, too.
Gotta love Rick Mast. He doesn't mince words. Boy, early in the race, they kicked my behind. He said a little bit differently, but there's the car number 1. He drove to an impressive third-place finish, the Skoll Ford Thunderbird. Back with more post-race reaction right after this. Stay with us. Our full field results today. Jeff Bodine, the winner. Terry Labonte, Rick Mast, Rusty Wallace, and Mark Martin rounding out the top 5.
And 6th through 10th, Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon, Ricky Rudd, and Ted Musgrave.
11th through 15th this afternoon was Kenny Wallace, Bobby Hamilton, Darrell Waltrip, Kenny Schrader, and Bobby Labonte.
16 through 20, Dick Trickle, John Andretti, Ward Burton, Derek Cope, and Steve Grissom.
21st through 25th, we see Michael Waltrip, Hut Strickland, Jimmy Spencer, the pole sitter, Dave Marcus, who had a good qualifying run, finished 24th, and Lake Speed come home 25th.
26 through 30, Jimmy Hensley in place of Kyle Petty in the 42 car, Jeremy Mayfield, Jeff Burton, Jeff Green, and Morgan Shepherd.
And 31st through 35th, Sterling Marlin, Harry Gant, his final trip to North Wilkesboro Speedway, Brett Bodine, Joe Nemechek, and Greg Sachs. And in 36th position, Phil Parsons in the car number 9, driving the Harry Melling Ford Thunderbird. Now, how about the top 20 in points?
Well, of course, Earnhardt still leads by, 208 points over Rusty Wallace. Mark Martin is 3rd. Ken Schrader remains 4th, and Ricky Rudd remains 5th.
And let's see, 6th is Morgan Shepherd. Jeff Gordon is 7th. Bill Elliott is 8th. Terry Labonte, 9th. And Darrell Waltrip is 10th. And those guys pretty tight, 8th through 10th.
Labonte jumps a spot to 9th spot, 11th through 15th. Michael Waltrip, Sterling Marlin. Look at 12th and 13th, Ernie Irvin, Ted Musgrave, Lake Speed.
And 16th through 20th, Jeff Bodine moved up a couple of notches into points today. Jimmy Hensley. That should be Kyle Petty, I believe. Rick Mast in 18th place. Bobby Labonte's 19th, and Brett Bodine moved up into 20th.
That is Kyle Petty there. Jimmy Hensley was subbing for Kyle today, but a tremendous afternoon. It was overcast early in the day, and we got the race started in a hurry because of rains in the area, so that's why we were finishing a little bit early here, but a great win. His 3rd of the season. His 3rd at North Wilkesboro Speedway and 17th career victory for Jeff Bodine. Of course, coming up later on today, Shop Talk featuring Robert Yates following our conclusion of coverage of today's Tyson Holly Farms 400. Back with more from North Wilkesboro Speedway after this. And we are back at North Wilkesboro Speedway, where we've just concluded the NASCAR Winston Cup Tyson Holly Farms 400. Bill Weber, John Kernan, Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, and yours truly, Jerry Punch. Now, Bill Weber is caught up with Terry Labonte, who had a great run today. Bill?
And it was a great run, but you got beat by a pretty good car out there today.
We did. I tell you what, our Kellogg Chevy ran great all day. We had some great pit stops. Didn't have any trouble all day. We just came up a little short. We got outrun today. Just one of those deals. Try again next week.
Same car you had here in the spring, obviously. Terry, do you get frustrated as a driver under that kind of condition when you are a lap down, not only trying to catch the leader, but make up a lap in the process?
Yeah, you know, everybody pitted there, and Jeff stayed out and got us all a lap down. And so from that point on, it was like trying to make up a lap. And I got ahead of him there once, and he got back around me. But like I said, it was a great run for our Kellogg Chevy, and we came up a little short. The race was for second then.
It's been a spectacular season for you, moving over here with the Kellogg sponsorship to Hendrick Motorsports. We go to Charlotte next. Have you been there? Have you had a chance to see that track since they've worked on it?
No, I hadn't even seen it since they repaved it, so we'll go down there next week and, you know, just probably rely on our teammate Jeff Gordon for a little help, but I think our Kellogg Chevy should run good at Charlotte, so we're looking forward to it.
That's an advantage to you to have Schrader and Gordon on your team where you can get information from another driver.
Yeah, it is. Jeff had been over there and tested, and so is Schrader, so maybe we can get a little information from them, and maybe it'll help us.
Well, Terry Labonte had a second-place finish today. He's had a great season, and he's looking forward to next week.
Indeed he is, Bill, and he moved up from 10th to 9th in the point standings. Now, the manufacturer's battle is all sewn up for the second time in 3 years. Ford will take the title.
Look at that, 19 wins this year for the Fords. 23 poles, that's even more impressive.
Now, we're talking about this manufacturer's battle, but what's down the road? And the word is this week that the 1995 Monte Carlo has been built in a number of shops. We're told that Rick Hendrick has 3 completed, 2 under construction, and some of the guys have already been in those cars. I think Terry Labonte had been in one, and maybe Kenny Schrader, and they were ecstatic about how the car felt.
I know Dale Jarrett drove one at Talladega for Richard Childress, and said the car has a lot of potential, so they're looking forward to that car. I think that they understand that they'll have a lot of adjustments to do to it once they get it in true race form, but they feel that it does have the potential, and that's what they look for.
And that's exactly what they're looking for. I think that they tested that car after the Die-Hard 500 at Talladega. I think back in August is when they drove that car. You see Jeff Bodine down in Victor Circle. It's still going on. They're still taking his picture.
The last time a driver lapped the entire field and won a race in NASCAR Winston Cup competition.
It was back in September of 1991, and Harry Gant did it at Dover, Delaware. So it's been a little over 3 years since anyone has finished in the lead lap by themselves.
And of course, Jeff Bodine did it today.
You know, folks, if you wonder why that there's been so much time since the race was over and we're still here, we haven't went away to another program, is that we were scheduled to be here at 4 o'clock and felt like the race would last until about 10 minutes to 4. What's happened? The race cars are just so much faster today than they used to be. A lot of reasons. Horsepower is number one. The tires have more adhesion. They're wider than they used to be, and also aerodynamics. And NASCAR is looking at that and trying to slow the cars down. You know, after Ernie Irvin crashed up at Michigan, there's been a big cry, let's slow the cars down. And some of the things that NASCAR is looking about in slowing the cars down is decreasing the width of the tire. Right now, the tread is about 12 inches wide. They're talking about 9.5, 10 inches. They're talking about taking some downforce away, maybe raising the car up or decreasing the rear spoiler, maybe decreasing the front air dam, and taking 20% of the horsepower away, which you're probably looking at 150 horsepower by a 9-to-1 engine, by dropping the compression down, maybe a smaller carburetor. All these things NASCAR are trying to do to slow the cars down because, I mean, these things are getting to be rocket ships now.
Well, they really are, and I tell you, I'm in favor of it. I think that speed is good to read and hear about. You can't see it necessarily with the naked eye out there, but normally the faster they get, the lesser the competition is, especially on the higher speed racetrack. So I think we'll see better competition if the cars are slowed down a little bit.
And by slowing them down, they'll be certainly a whole heck of a lot safer. Talk about safety. There's not a lot of safety on the ice. ESPN2, the Deuce, International Hockey League action. Denver and Houston. That's coming up at 8 p.m. tonight. That, again, is on ESPN2. Due to the NHL strike, you can't really call it a strike. It's a lockout by the owners. We will have International Hockey League action. Then, of course, coming up tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Once again, the Tyson Holly Farms 400 is history. And what a dominating performance today by one driver. I don't think I've ever seen at this racetrack in modern history a driver dominate like Jeff Bodine did today.
Well, he dominated a lot here in 1992 when he won the Bud Moore's car. That went caution-free. But I'm not sure his car was as much stronger then as he was today compared to the rest of the field.
Jeff Bodine, 333 laps he led here today, picking up his third win of the 1994 season, his 17th overall career victory. Once again, congratulations to the Exide Batteries crew as they celebrate there on pit road. What a performance today by that driver right there, 45-year-old Chemung, New York native, Jeff Bodine. The car that pulled up beside him, that was Terry Labonte. It's all he could do to finish second, a lap behind. For Bill Weber, John Kernan, Ned Jarrett, and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch, once again congratulating Jeff Bodine and saying so long, everyone, from North Wilkesboro Speedway and the Holly Farms Tyson 400.